The Eye in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown features adult themes, language, and situations. Discretion is advised. 以成人为主题，语言跟情况小心。
Crime may like to hide in the shadows, but it can never really hide from the Eye.
Life can sometimes be drab, can it? With work, the economy, and living with a mother-in-law, it's all hokum and horse feathers. But what if there was a way to escape the dull and drab dilemmas of the everyday? To venture into a mythical and mystical world full of magic and mystery? Well, lucky for you, the Squidby Communications subsidiary Altar of Venus Games has just the escape you need. Shallow Cave of Wonders is the newest and swellest of all the RPGs on the market. That's role-playing games for the squares in the room. Ha ha! 10 times more popular than Phoenix Nest, 12 times more complex than Nature's Treasury, and with 14 more orcs than Awakened Crevice. Roll for dexterity, fight the hordes with ferocity, enter the crypts with mansuetude, and prepare for adventure as you enter the Shallow Cave of Wonders. And now, WK Nut proudly presents the man with a lonely peeper, the Eye in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown.
Knees up, company. Might look under control, but you make damn sure it is. Got the best jakes of any company of any borough, so let's prove it.
The site looked like a campfire gone wrong. Dayu was a place where you could come and dance your cares away, listen to a few canaries, sing a couple of songs, get spifflicated if you so choose, have a good time. It wasn't burned to the ground, but it had a big hole in the side of it, still smoldering. I could only imagine that the king of this castle, Sun Wukong, was burning just as bad. I was hoping that the fire brigade on site would tell me that this was a gas leak, that it was something self-inflicted, a recent casualty of the Monkey King's madness, because I knew if someone else inflicted it, if someone else lit the fire in hell, there would be a bloody price to pay. But I also knew, with Chief Xiao Wujing Sandberg, a stocky man made of sand, there was no way he wouldn't get to the truth of this. For better or for worse, he would find the cause. He was damn good at his job. Sandy?
It's Sandberg, One Eye. Better yet, Chief. I thought you retired.
No, just tired.
10-4 on that. I sent you out on this already, or you just checking in?
Running a case that ties in here. Got that bad feeling in my gut.
Eat bad hen fruit?
Here's open for food poisoning.
Well, sorry to disappoint. I think your women's intuition is kicking in appropriately. Lucky we're quartered a couple blocks down. Not that the fire was a bad burner, but still, we got it under control. Looks like a small explosive was to blame. On the preliminary, of course.
Any injured?
Couple of patrons shaken up. Didn't have any work, no trauma. Let me get you a gold badge. Levy!
Chief?
Running up and falling in line was a fully decked out fighter who seemed to be running the scene. Pale as a ghost, because he probably was. Carrying the gear, with all 6 million pounds of it, or whatever it was, like it was his second skin.
Lieutenant Frank Levy, Detective Victor Caine.
Sir?
What can you tell me?
Well, it's all a little bit speculative, but it looks like arson. Combustible fire based on the debris that we found. Homemade type of thing. Packed a hell of a wallop. Mostly confined to the front of the structure, but it went up at least 3 stories. Luckily, it didn't take anybody out, and I say that because I don't think that was the intention. I think it was coincidence. I think this was intended to leave a message, and part of that was in body parts. Thank God that didn't happen.
Any idea on what the rest of that message was?
Pretty good idea. One of our recruits, Caleb Lewis, found this. That little design is in gunpowder.
And he handed me the equivalent of a chain letter. Something that just pissed me off and wasted my time. A piece of paper a little scorched by the going-ons. But in the middle of it, in gunpowder, glued to make sure somebody saw it, was the dad-blamed face of a demon. The Oni.
I think that points to a potential suspect.
Yeah, sure it does.
I gotta get back to this.
Thanks.
Chief?
Lieutenant? Let me get my ass in gear too, but I can have all the reports forwarded to your office. Made your case?
Yes, sir. I'd appreciate it, Chief.
No problem, One Eye. Lewis, are you handling that line or are you making a pass on it? Handle it like you expel liquid from it 2 to 3 times a day, not like you're trying to get its mailing address.
Somebody was giving me a runaround that was amounting to bupkis. Some buster in the shadows that was trying to frame the Yakuza. They were guilty enough without somebody adding to their order, and their bill would come due in time. I'd go see the author of the dime novel that's on everyone's shelves and stapled to poor dead girls in Chinatown tomorrow night. But for now, I had other fires to put out. I was turning to leave when...
Great Buddha! God!
Wow. 你嚇死佢啦
Hey, I'm Shed. We met like a day or two ago. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold.
Hi, Shen.
Hey, I was just going to warn you. Sometimes the boss like to do this surprise you thing. When you turn around, he's all of a sudden there.
下住頭先咁樣啊
Oh shit, man.
Thanks. I'll be on the lookout for it. And there he was. In the pale light of the moon, you could have mistaken the mischievous Monkey King for a dragon, because it looked like he was fuming. It could have been the nightclub, still smoking as the firemen tried to save everything they could. It could have been his dame, puffing clouds from the smoke in her mouth as she loitered nearby. But I think it was pure rage, the anger of an immortal. The smoldering building behind me was a bit warm for my tastes, but the force of heat coming off of Sun Wukong was unbelievably hot, and the air around him shimmered like the pavement in summer. Visible steam poured from his mouth and nostrils.
Hi, Dick.
So, tell me if you can. If you can't, you can't. But if you can, you should, because it would do good for me and you and the whole goddamn neighborhood. Who hosted this clam bake, I heard a few little birdies whisper something about some sword-carrying, sushi-eating, mother-screwing Lupins. But sometimes you can't trust the birdies. Sometimes you just wing it.
Be like a reporter, detective. Tell us the story.
Someone did this to you. Yes. You're angry. Yes. But before you fly off the handle, things aren't what they look like. There was a note left, but evidence has come forth that retrodicts everything
Big word.
that tells us there's a frame-up job. Now, I don't know if someone's trying to start a war or if they're covering tracks, but I have a lead that will...
Name.
No.
I think that was the wrong answer.
I'll ask you as many times as you have eyes. And for those in the back that need help with counting and arithmetic, it's E1. One more time. Give me the name of your lead.
No.
Boys, let's give these two a little space.
再見啦
Listen, we don't have...
No! Bizoy! My turn to say that. Do you know what rocks I've been buried under? And for how long? Do you know the things I've done? I had my kingdom. Mine! My reward. My place. Something mine. I could hang the lights and picture frames exactly as I wanted to. But now, I'm missing a goddamn wall, and I'm going to rip someone's stomach out of their mouth. You give me a name, little man, little mortal man, and I won't rip you apart with my hands. Huh?
No. Not now. Tomorrow evening. I want you to meet me. Susanoo didn't do this. The Yakuza had nothing to do with it. Tomorrow at lunch, you meet me at this place, and I'll make all of that clear.
Clear? Clear. 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 Clear is about vision. And I'm trusting a one-eyed man to tell me how to see things? What happens if you don't? If I'm not satisfied, what happens then, Copper?
I take you to the Japs myself. Little Miss Crosstalk had played hooky from this part of the adventure, and I couldn't say I blamed her. The minute she knew it was Wukong's place that had been firebombed, she knew there were bound to be more explosions. And a black market for organs called the Silk Road? Well, that's not exactly a place to take a date either. Well, I guess that depends on the date. Not that I was dating her. It's strange how you can go for so long, feeling like a bona fide adult, and then some backward situation with a dame or fella you fancy makes you feel like a pimple-nosed kid again. It's a lot like a park in a city. Surrounded by skyscrapers, hooch, and it all go into pot. But you plant a few trees, mow the lawn, and throw up a pavilion, and you're tricked for a minute. You think there's hope, a chance for a happy ending. This ain't a city, it's nature. The world ain't so bad. It's all gonna work out for the best. Smiles all around. And there's the rub. It's all baloney with no taste.
Hey, man. I'm sorry to bother you, man, sir. We was just wondering if I had a quarter you could spare for me. You've had fallen on hard times, man. And I'm a God-fearing Christian what just got out of the hospital. You got back on drugs. Just gonna be honest with you, me. Got back on drugs, but clean now, man. Clean as a whistle. But hard times, man, hard times. Kings County was saints enough to take care of me, but you need a bit of change for the bus, for the trains, dear God. You gotta get where God damn it, shit, it's you, us, Vic.
Nice to see you, too.
Yeah, nice to see you, us, too. Suck my nuts. You thought I was a person.
Neibolt wasn't a stranger to me, though at times I kind of wished he was. He was a lot of things, but polite was never one of them. A junkie, a bum, a vagrant, an informant on occasion, and generally just out on parole. His skin peeled off on the regular, and the rags he stuck to his face were crusty with blood and ooze. He was leprous, but it wasn't just a condition of his skin. I wasn't the popinjay looking down on the worm. Monster New York's full of people who are down on their luck. The city invites you in with promises of everything you've ever dreamed of, and it leaves you sleepless with nightmares still calling. There are people broken, bleeding, and bawling out in this city, and Neibolt's taken advantage of most of them. But that's another division's problem. I always think to myself, maybe he's not too far. Maybe he'll turn it around. Because if he can, any of us can.
Stupid piece of one-eyed trash garbaging up all my pitch, man. Why you are even out here, huh? Don't you have like a one of them fancy cars or some shit?
I'm out here on a case.
We didn't do nothing. Us didn't do no goddamn thing, no matter what you says. We them was just out here, minding their goddamn own personal business. Bunch of liars is what you are. Liars!
Ain't nobody accusing you of anything. You doing okay?
Oh, yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yes, sir. Everything's hotsy-totsy. Don't be dingy. We lose the plot, man. We're out here on the streets, and I got this goddamn itch. The streets, man. You there people ain't the ones that need to be on the streets, man. Not upstanding people like me, If I just got a 20, I could spare me, man,
It's a nebulous feeling. That sense of pity for someone who you know has brought it on themselves. Maybe it's karma. Maybe it's self-fulfilling prophecies. Maybe there was some dark tragedy behind all of Neibolt's suffering. Hell, I'm sure there is. But I remind myself, you can't save them all, Vic. You can't.
What kind of cases you us on?
Looking for somebody.
What kind of somebody? Maybe I can help. Maybe you are throwing a greenback, yeah? I ain't no charity case. You us knows that. What's the name of whose it is you are looking for?
Chinese fella. Silhai Longwong?
Oh, shit! We shouldn't come around here because this shit always happens!
You can keep it. I don't...
No. We don't need it, won't it that bad? I us ain't messing around with him, you.
Who? Silhai Longwong?
Shit! Don't say his name again.
Don't say Silhai Longwong?
Shit!
The earth shook all around me like it was falling apart. Neibolt tucked tail and ran for it, while I stood there like an idiot trying to piece together what was happening. I still had that painkiller in my pocket, and probably in my bloodstream. And as I turned around to find the source of the shaking, I wondered if I wasn't having flashbacks. Because when I saw the source of the rumbling, the park was moving, getting up as if it had just been taking a nap. The the whole damn park. My hand went to my side piece as if that was going to solve anything. And I'm pretty sure my jaw hit the moving ground at my feet. In the moonlit, manicured remains of Columbus Park, something was taking form. With grass and a small gazebo on his back, a massive dragon raised its head and stared dead at me. One whom I could only assume was named Silhai Long Wong.
Who dares attempt to enter my precious keep? Answer me! What feeble soul has come forward? Hello? Is there someone there?
I wanted to speak up, but my brain was too busy trying to do the math on this to tell my tongue to wag. And the rest of me was trying to figure out if I had pissed myself or not.
Is nobody there? Seriously, was it those damn kids again? Go to school, you hooligans, you brats. Stay in school and drink your milk for strong bones.
Are you Silhai Long Wong? Sir?
What? Who said that? You have a deep voice for a punk kid. Where are you?
I did. I'm not. And I'm on the ground.
You're on the ground? Are you near my tail, or you'll have to direct me?
The mighty beast craned its head and tried to look back at the patch of earth clinging to his back. Confused mumbles shaking the trees nearby. With each massive movement of the beast, I could feel the earth weaken, and my sphincter tighten. No, sir. I'm on the ground, right in front of you.
What? Who said that? Who dareth play a trick on me?
Sir, I'm not playing tricks on you. I swear. Don't get angry. Big Dragon. Sir.
You're on the ground in front of me? Like down there? Really? I mean, I can't, I've been meaning to get my eyes checked.
What?
Doth thou mock me?
No, sir. I just, get your eyes checked?
Don't tell anyone.
I don't think I could tell anyone about this. I don't think anyone around would believe me.
My sight's not what it was. I don't know if it's night blindness or... Is it nearsighted if you can't see far away? Why did you name it like that? All confusing and confounding.
I could recommend a guy.
You could?
Yeah. I'm a Cyclops. In case you can't see that, so vision's kind of a big thing. I have a really good ophthalmologist I could recommend, since you're massively scared.
I'd love that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no worries.
How's
pricing's great.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, his name's Dr. Fibes. He has an office on East 4th near Cooper.
Is that near the Triangle?
Little bit down from there. You know where Phoebe's is?
Weeps?
No, Phoebe's. It's this little southern food place. It's pretty good, but if you don't know it... They just put a new art gallery in, a block or two away.
I doth know where you're talking about, yes. Oh, that's great. I'll swing by there, probably next week or something.
Yeah, okay.
Great. Well, thanks. And thanks for stopping by.
Actually, sir, I was hoping you could help me out, maybe. If it isn't too much trouble?
Oh, I don't know any doctors.
No, that's not... I don't need a doctor.
That's good, because I don't know any. And I don't carry any cash, so...
I appreciate that, but I was told that you could tell me where to find the Emperor. I'm looking for the Silk Road.
Oh, you're here on business. Thou hast ventured to find the Silk Road. Yeah, you should have said so. Just hop in my mouth.
Excuse me?
If you seek the Silk Road, traveler, seek no further.
The great dragon descended to ground level, and he opened his jaws wide. It was like a subway tunnel lined with teeth and saliva, and coming from deep inside that tunnel, from the belly of the beast, I could see a faint light. I said a couple of prayers, found my fortitude, held my gun again, and took a step inside. It was dark and damp as the dragon closed his mouth behind me. I wondered if I'd been duped, but honestly, I was too scared to even care. I kept walking. What the hell else could I do? Very slowly, very cautiously. Dumb to the fact of whether or not there was anything I was walking towards other than dragon intestines and a presumably painful death. Then the passageway began to narrow, and as I got closer, I could see the source of the light I had been following. A lamp. A lamp. A lamp. What? Planted on a desk with sheets of paper and one of those books you put your name in, like at fancy restaurants, weddings, or funerals. Behind the desk, inside this dragon, was a big, thick door. And sitting at the desk itself was a big, thick man, face like Easter Island, body the color of kryptonite, and wearing an impeccable suit. Hi, I'm confused about where I am.
Appointment?
I don't have an appointment.
No appointment?
No, I'm afraid not, but I am here on official business, looking for the Emperor and the Silk Road.
So, you're a police officer with no appointment?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Don't you think that's a bit rude?
Why are we having this conversation? We're inside of a dragon.
Because etiquette matters. It is decorum we must relish in, my friend. For if we do not, we give in to our more primitive and more baser instincts. And if we do that, the whole cookie crumbles, as they say. Don't you want to keep that cookie together? Sweet and soft, the way it was intended to be presented.
What the hell have I walked into?
I'm just messing with you, man. I've been sitting here for a while, bored out of my skull, thinking about going in the back to get me a cookie. Baked them fresh this morning. It's a hobby of mine. You like chocolate chip? But yeah, I'll show you in. Let me get you to sign the log. Cool. Now, ladies first, my man.
The piece of jade rock in a tuxedo opened the door and led me into the main attraction. Inside of the depths of the dragon that slept in Columbus Park was a warehouse. Must have been 60, 70 tables. At each table was a worker, and all of them looked nearly the same. Anthropomorphized earth in the shape of men. They looked like warriors, but wore aprons instead of armor, and were carefully and delicately, every one of them, dissecting bodies. Humans, wolves, vampires, any and every type of corpse. All of them harvesting organs that were usable and throwing away what wasn't in big metal tubs beside them. At the far side of the room, I could see dozens of spider people, spinning spools of silk webbing that more of these rock soldiers took away in large baskets. Then other soldiers would use some of the webbing to sew up bodies, while another group would fashion and bind packaging for the organs that were usable with the rest. It was a whole functioning workhouse.
First time? Kinda neat. Just watch your step. It gets gooey.
But we weren't moving. We just stood there for a moment. It was fine by me. Like your eye adjusting to the dark, it gave me a chance to get acclimated to everything going on around me. Tacked into the wall of flesh right by the entrance was a call box, and a microphone that looked like it was connected to some sort of intercom system.
One moment, please. Roberts, we got one. The Emperor likes a bit of an introduction. It'll only be a moment.
I took that moment to scan the joint, to better understand the layout. A red carpet split the area right down the middle and led to a chair. A big golden throne-looking thing. Ornate and out of place, surrounded by butchered corpses inside of a dragon's gut. It was turned away from all of the action, facing a fountain in a little zen garden. I could only assume the Emperor was seated in it, recumbent in his palace. No, not a palace. This was a completely different world.
Roberts! I said that we have a visitor, man. Do your thing. Sorry about that. It shouldn't take long.
Is that the Emperor over there?
Yeah, that's the Emperor. But you know, protocol and all that.
The throne was ornate, covered in these carvings and this sophisticated-looking seal. A tincture, a heraldic-looking thing. It had the figure of a man in the middle. A blue dragon, a white tiger, a red bird, and what looked like a black turtle. It was hard to tell from this distance. I could just go say hi myself, couldn't I?
The Emperor likes his introduction. It's sort of a formality. Should be any time. Roberts, get your ass in gear.
So I waited a little longer. But unlike the good Dr. Phibes, I'm not that great with my patience.
Sir, hey man, you can't. I thought we was cool. Damn it. Your lordship, you have a visitor, O mighty emperor of the Silk Road and thus the world. You have, all the domain over... Crap, how's it go?
As I marched across the distance of the grandiose workspace, the Jade Rock butler followed my every step, trying to introduce the Emperor before me and apologize for my breaking the rules at the same time. But the Emperor didn't even move from his chair. I had him locked in my sights like a target, when all of a sudden...
Your illustrious lordship, you have a visitor. Follow it, please,
In erupted the sozzled fop, this dewdropper tripping over his own gams and dressed like he had come from a costume party. A pirate zombie with bits of his skin and clothes falling off, trying to keep up with the rest of him as he fell over and over again. And again.
Here, behold, the Emperor of the Silk Road, and thus the world. The one who has domain over all domains, the crowned one, the exalted one, the heavenly mandated, the golden child. Bow all that are low, and all are low in comparison. Behold the Emperor!
All with a bit of flourish, and the fact that I was a good 10 feet away and could smell the alcohol on him made the whole monologue more impressive. Apparently so impressive that I didn't notice the Emperor standing beside me.
You've come to see me? Asking questions, I assume?
A girl. A little girl. The Emperor was a child. You're the...
Great and powerful, sophisticated and well-established, wealthy and healthy. How'd you feel about that one? Tickety-boo, I felt. Went along smooth, yeah? Didn't
Your esteemed one, I am so sorry for his behavior.
You're the Emperor?
Are you taking the piss, mate? You groggy green-headed granite. I just did like a masterpiece while the last skeeve you had up there was the summer stock. Couldn't even say the name all the way through, much less with the much more I give it. I don't need that criticism from you ball bag.
I was. You wouldn't listen to what I was saying. I was talking about the one eye over here, man. But while I'm at it, you need to get your shit together, too.
My shit together? My shit together? I went and saw a man about a dog before I even went on stage, so believe you me, it's together. Packed, floating through the system, down the S-bend concurrently.
You're only a kid. How is that even possible?
Man, you're a joke.
Well-crafted one. Thank you.
Wouldn't know a well-crafted anything unless it was in a bottle. And even then, you wouldn't take the time to appreciate it.
Not what your mum said.
What the hell did you say about my mother?
You run all of this.
I didn't say anything about your mother. I merely stated that she did not state what you stated.
You sorry excuse for a hype man. You ain't no actor.
Oh, am I not? Well, isn't that scrummy? I'm sorry, sir. Did you go to Juilliard?
Neither did you, man.
Well, I auditioned, and that's halfway there. Which is halfway more than your half-assed attempts now, isn't it, you funny bull?
Enough! God, they give me such a headache.
I'm sorry to bother you.
You're Victor Caine. I know a great deal about you.
And I know nothing about you.
I am the Emperor. You know that.
But you're...
A child. Power and wisdom, in their truest form, seldom manifest themselves the way we preconceive.
I was going to say girl.
Well, I don't need to repeat myself, do I?
Oh, you're that one-eyed detective, you are. Or is it a G-Man paycheck you're cashing? I always forget. People say one thing about another person, says something about another, and then to another, and then round again, and then whatnot. But you, yeah, I heard about you, I have. You stopped a robbery, didn't you? Or was it murder? I listen to a lot of different people who say that they all see different things, yeah. It's hard to keep it all organised in the upstairs sometimes, isn't it? It's like writing the same sentence over and over again sometimes. It's trying to make the sense of the sentence while your sentence's sense is that it's kind of like trying to write the same sentence over and over again, yeah. Whew. I've got myself cream crackered talking about that all around in circles.
Well, maybe you shouldn't talk so much, because you talk a lot.
I was trying to be a part of the conversation, Mr. Pebbles. No need to get confuffled. I know who you are. Sorta. Kinda. Well, that's my point. Aye. As you were.
Now that we've established that, how may I help you, Detective?
You can start by telling me about this place.
Of course. In some regards, I'm honestly surprised that a man of your caliber hasn't been by to visit before, or even heard of us. But also, in some regards, I'm not. You'll find that everything here is legal. Most things in this world you'll find are legal. But we consider ourselves a harvesting company, taking body parts for medical purposes, food, decorative, all donations, organ donors.
What about murder victims?
Only if they were an organ donor with express instruction to be deposited here. I understand what you were implying, but only once the deceased have been cleared by a coroner do we even dare touch the body. And then with restrictions, obviously. I noticed you looking at some of our employees.
I don't even know where to begin to ask.
Then allow me to begin to answer. We are a world and business operated on tradition. The Silk Road is the oldest organization of its type that is considered to be legitimate. In that sense, we have our own kingdom bestowed upon us, an empire, over which the presiding officer is dubbed the Emperor. How I became the Emperor is a long story for another day. But it is a heavy crown. You oversee people's lives, livelihoods, and even their deaths.
Okay. Now them.
The spider silk is used for transportation mostly, ensuring that the organs and parts are preserved fresh for travel. Early Chinese monsters discovered the bountiful uses of spider silk long ago. The terracotta soldiers are diligent workers who need no rest nor food or drink. You'll find that breaks no labor law.
It all made sense. I looked at the rock in a suit. That made sense. I looked towards the drunken pirate who was now eating a cookie or something.
Jammy Dodger. Whatever this is this a chocolate? Is this a chocolate Jammy Dodger?
He makes me giggle.
Damn it, man! Were those my cookies from the back? Damn it, man!
I have a victim. Case I'm working. A girl who's been completely cleaned out. I'm thinking sewn up with spider silk, and probably kept somewhere for a couple of weeks wrapped up in it. Is there any way to tell if she came through here?
A rather simple way. If you have her, she did not come from here. Some of our contracts are with the U.S. government, and disposal is a particular sticking point. So we utilize our unique facility. There is a quote-unquote furnace system where all remains are disposed of. It makes our being here and his being the here a more symbiotic relationship.
My girl was poisoned. Any other, types of roads around here that would have taken her parts? Would you have taken the parts without a body?
No. Being able to describe and detail the origins of said body parts is a part of our transparency and what has made us so influential. We have 16 of our terracotta soldiers that are licensed physicians and doctors of medicine. The Earth retains knowledge better than you could ever imagine. I say that to emphasize the fact that we screen any and all product we receive. A tainted specimen would not be allowed here.
And what would you do with the tainted ones?
Dragons have wonderful immune systems.
Who else might take something that's not up to your standards?
Reputable? No one. Non-reputable? Anyone. People who are in the position to go to such extreme lengths seldom have the time, patience, or ability to check for such things as quality. I'm afraid it could be an underground sort of operation, or a from-home person dabbling in the sicker of the arts. Or it could be an unscrupulous professional whose broken morality has a use for poisoned parts. It's impossible for me to say.
Oh my God. Ugh. What a damp squig this turned out to be. They just talk and talk and talk. I'm going to chunder again if I have to listen to any more of this bollocks. Why is everyone looking at me?
You said the last bit out loud. They can hear you.
Right. Working order then, yeah. Testing your ears, no need for alarm. Carry on.
He always this ossified?
Sometimes worse, man. Sometimes worse.
Is there anything else you would be needing of me, Detective?
I do have a question, and pardon me if it seems out of place. Past couple of days have been a tour of Chinatown in a way that I never expected. And you, here, in the middle of it, you're not Chinese.
Being Chinese is more than a birthplace origin. Our race is not defined by the slant of our eye, the click of our accent, or the tan of our skin. You, a Cyclops, should know that good and well. Thank you, Detective. I wish you the best in solving your case.
Now, sir, we can go out the back, which is more discreet, or the front, which is terrifying, but also not as terrifying as the back.
I can smell her. She's on you, isn't she?
The pirate had grabbed me by the shoulder and turned me to square him. It was more forceful than I'd imagined the drunken faux sailor was capable of, but the stare he gave me, that was the frightening bit. Preternatural, one might even say. I don't know what you're talking about, but...
Don't play fucking dumb with me. I know her. She's reading your CV, isn't she? Death. She's a pretty lass, but she's stalking you, mate. You caught her fancy, like a man trying to nick a specific car out from the car park. She's been tailing you, hasn't she? Why? She's more powerful than that. I know it. You know it. If she's listening, she is, because she always is. She knows it. Why has Death got her eye on you, mate? What? Why?
I'll take the front exit.
Hey! Do come back when thou hast the chance, lovely. You, not her. But I surmise she'll be having business with you before I will. Won't you? Won't you, my beautiful ethereal dear? Won't you? Won't you? Why?
Not talking about her. There's no point in talking about her. The Sheba that hides from me around every corner. That shiv in my back that I can't seem to reach so I can never pull out. The shadow on my shoulders. She wants what she wants with me. And until she gets that, she's just here to play. I needed booze. I needed to level my head off with some sleep, but I couldn't sleep. Not now. Like a hungry man late to dinner, the thing I like had turned cold. I make things dark. I see that. Maybe the world is dark without me having to lift a single finger. Maybe I'm just the reflection. Maybe I have to go dark so I can understand the shade that these scumbags hide in. Somebody had killed Jia Jian. Somebody had taken her organs out. Somebody had held on to the body. Somebody had poisoned her. That somebody had most likely poisoned Dai Fu Ling and set the Igwai ablaze. Someone speaking Japanese had taken a hit out on me. Someone speaking Chinese was at the crime scene at the docks. Somebody had paid for Jian's home, lessons, everything. Somebody who didn't want to be noticed. Somebody who didn't want that information out there in the public. At least, not where I could get it. Somebody was guilty, and somebody wasn't talking. But somebody would. Diao wasn't exactly a snitch, but he wasn't exactly tight-lipped either. There's an old phrase some of the vets in the Force use. They call you a bean picker. It means a person who tries their hardest to make a situation better no matter how bad it gets. Imagine if you had a can of beans and someone threw them on the ground. You, in turn, spent all your time picking up each individual bean because you knew the situation could be made right. It's trying to repair a broken family, trying to save a marriage, being a cop. Talking to Dow, I knew he would throw the pintos everywhere, but I might be able to pick up a few pieces that were usable.
I did not expect to see you here tonight.
I came for business, but I'm glad I came. The way we left things off
Shang
earlier.
Shang. 我们有客户吗? Oh, detective. I was just about to have my evening tea. Have you come to join me? 小孩，我还有其他的东西给你做。快一点，现在。
She fired me a look. A difficult task without eyeballs, but one she was capable of nevertheless. I knew her well enough to know that it wasn't one of those Twitter-pated looks or nothing like that, but I couldn't figure out if it was a look telling me that it was okay, or asking me to tell her it was okay.
I trust your case is going well.
I trust you've been informed exactly how my case is going.
Black and white, life and death, good and evil. Two sides of a chess game, no? Two forces of the universe, one magnificent, the other perhaps sinister. It is said that the devil plays for men's souls. But don't we all? Don't all men try to win the game? And is winning not reaping the soul of the loser? Bah! Oh, Heitzer. Shishi.
Donglin Baba, detective.
It was the woman I had met a couple nights back. The strong one who had called Shang Shang her sister. I didn't know if she meant that in the sense of a bond or that they took family photos together. They didn't look alike. One had more features, but the one particular feature I noticed was a ring she wore on her finger. The same type of ring with the same design that the bull from the diner had on him.
Now, what were we discussing, detective?
How you like metaphors and I'm more of a checkers guy?
Games of...
Regular checkers, not the you-know kind.
Simple games. Complex games. They are all games. We play them until we hear the trumpet's tucket announcing our victory or the axeman declaring our loss. And if we hear neither, we keep playing. It serves us well to keep playing the game.
I'd say you've got a fluky disposition tonight. Anything on your mind you want to tell me?
Just a thirst for my tea. But where are my manners? Allow me to fetch you a cup, detective. Let us drink tea together, like civilized men.
Jiao was in a mood, like a cobra showing its hood to intimidate. And I thought I knew why. But I wasn't here to make nice. I wanted to divest from him the lowdown he had rattling up in his brain. See what he really knew. I could grease his palm, sure, but I had taken a bottle of truth serum off of that cat thing the Hoppers had hired. It would do a better job than any paycheck. The only problem was, I generally had a good memory, but with everything that had happened in the past 2 days, I'd forgotten which pocket of my jacket it was in. All these thoughts occurring within a split second, I knew I didn't have time to do a check-see. I knew one pocket had the painkiller, one pocket had the truth teller, but no time to figure out which was which, and I had to make a play. So I put a hand in each, unscrewed both caps, and while the crooked neck information broker was gone, just in time.
And what is it I might help you with, detective? I assume this visit is not based on our friendship. Perhaps you came to attempt to rough me up once more. Or perhaps for a young paramour?
Maybe.
I prefer answers to be slightly more concrete.
I'll give you pavement once you start being honest with me. You're a big-time operator, sending your girls out to do your bidding and spy for you. I'm thinking you know more than you're letting on.
I think thinking might be a dangerous habit for you.
Is that a threat?
More casual conversation. Drink your tea. It is getting cold.
You're not going to join me?
Of course. Jasmine mixed with the opioids you no doubt slipped into my drink produce an interesting flavor. However, you should know I am immune to such drugs. They have long since lost their effect on me. But a valiant effort nonetheless, Detective. Pretty-eyed big man.
What?
What?
Did you just call me pretty?
No. Yes. What?
How you feeling, Joe?
You have one eye.
That I do.
That's weird. You can never buy reading glasses. Just a telescope, maybe. It's weird. Old people look weird to me.
Okay. Well,
I am old, but I am not weird-looking old. I'm 653, but Chinese monsters, we look great until we're probably 1,000. And then Jinsai Wang, with his face, looks like soggy dumplings with pointy teeth. In Jiao Face, I call him in my head. I think the Jiangshi killed your girl.
and why's that?
Because they're vampires. Vampires are mean. I don't like vampires.
Do you have any reason
I
to...
have some nice vampires here. Chinese vampire girl, but she's not Jiangshi. She's Draco. Named Eileen. Chinese girl named Eileen. What?
Very interesting.
You are mean. I am mean. But I mean to be mean. Do you know what I mean?
I don't...
Stop interrupting me with your... Did you grow wings?
What?
Shang likes you, Victor Caine. And you will break her heart. And this breaks my heart. I'm a poor father, but they are my children nonetheless.
I'm not trying to break anyone's heart.
Good. If you do, I'll break your spine.
Fair.
Good. I feel wonderful. Oh, look at my hands.
Hey, spaceman, come back down to Earth. What can you tell me about the case that I don't already know?
Fu Manchu married a spider woman.
I know that.
They have a child.
Know that one, too.
How do they have lovemaking?
I don't think that's relevant to the case.
I do not like the way old people look.
We've covered that.
We did? I should sell this tea.
What can you tell me about the ring that broad that was out here was wearing? Calls herself Shang Xing's sister.
Oh, you mean Ba in her church ring?
Jiao covered his mouth as if he was blanching from my question. As if he realized he said something he shouldn't have. Church? What kind of church?
I'm not allowed to talk about the cult of Si. Did I talk about it again? This tea is good. Do you have any more?
Maybe after we talk a little. You were telling me about this cult.
I'm not allowed to tell you about the cult.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Maybe if you tell me what you're not allowed to tell me, I'll understand better.
You want me to tell you what I'm not supposed to tell you?
Yeah.
That's stupid. Okay. But the whole thing is for crazy people. I don't think Ba is crazy. Ba is lucky. But, even lucky good people get caught up in a weird cult stuff. Everyone is swindled. I am a swindler. I recognize this.
Well, tell me about this swindle.
The cult of Si. The Church of the Dead Emperor. Thousands of years old. I don't like the way he looks. Zhang Zuan of Moling, one of the most powerful men in the world.
How come I've never heard of him?
Because he doesn't want you to hear of him. Even the location of their meetings is secret. They believe we each serve 4 purposes in life and have 4 rules. We are father, we are child, we are lover, we are whatever. Repeat this process 4 times and find all of the facets of life. Be reborn and reborn and reborn and reborn until you get it Right. 4 times. And then you are free. Bunch of naked weirdos.
So
Yeah. They take off their clothes a lot. Which is fine for some of them, but I know other people. Do you know Olan? She owns a restaurant around the block. Good cook, pretty lady. Doesn't shave legs. Her calves look like seaweed stuck to driftwood.
This man's powerful. Like he has followers? Or money? Or both?
I don't know. I don't know the guy. I pretend to know a lot of people, and I guess I do know a lot of people. But if I don't know a person, I'll pretend to know the person you follow. That way people think I'm more important. Did you put something in my tea? I feel sleepy.
How do you know he's powerful?
Because only powerful people can live in secret. The rumor is that even Fu Manchu is in debt to this man.
Ba knows where I could find him.
She does. She's not supposed to tell you. Outsiders are forbidden.
How do they get new members?
Good question. I always thought you were stupid. But I see why you are a detective now. I could tell Ba to take you there, and then she could scurry back home or something. We'll figure it out. Hold on. Ba! 过来一下，我回来我想你。
什么？爸爸你没事吧？
我很美丽，我很帅，你可以感到我吗？
What did you do to him?
今晚我需要你带他去见死者的皇帝。
我不能带他，因为那是一个是上帝的房。
这是一个命令，因为我是你的父亲。
Our temples are sacred. Ertasu iga juwairen. He'll be there to mock and criticize. He won't understand. Tabu mingbai.
Ma'am, I'm sure you have concerns. I just want to find out what this place is, who your leader is. I think it's all related to the death of this girl I've been investigating. I respect your religious beliefs, whatever they may be. If I need to find another way in, I will. And if I do, it might make more noise than you'd like. I'd prefer to be discreet, but I need your help to do that.
For my sister. Shangjing.
Crosstalk entered the room like it was all business, but I could tell she was confused about why she was being summoned back in.
我相信我应该在这里。
我明在，但你的那朋友记住他的谋杀案。
I saw a smile stretch across my eyeless dame's face before she turned to me with blushing cheeks.
We are going on an adventure. Grab your purse.
It's funny. You don't have a purse. What?
They say a dog can tell when something bad's about to happen. Their hairs will stand on end, and they get aggressively worried. They say the spavined, the elderly, the old, can tell when the weather's going to change. They feel it in their joints. They say Abraham Lincoln had a dream that there was crying in the White House. He went downstairs and found a body. He asked a soldier what had happened, and the soldier told him that the president had been assassinated. He woke up, told his wife, and the next day he was shot. I wasn't going to the theater, but I had a feeling as the three of us walked out of the tea house that this long episode was going to turn even longer.
Detective Caine.
The masked men in hoodies. They were standing outside waiting for us, ominously and threateningly. Their body language was enough to let you know they meant business, but in case you were illiterate on reading that, the kneeling person before them, crying, would have been a very good indication this wasn't going to be good.
Dearies, 我的珍贵.
Lung Po. The old woman was on her knees, her blind eyes searching like a spotlight, trying to hit anything to make the situation clear. One masked fiend on each arm, another lingering to the side, and the one that had called me out standing behind, like a conqueror.
你们两个贱女退下！我们要那一个白人。You foolish man! You have unlocked the terrors of the old world and brought them to this new one. Leave Chinatown. Leave New York. Otherwise, this will be but a preview of things to come.
I have done only what I was...
One of the masked fiends ripped the woman's arm off faster than I can blink. I reached for my side piece, but one of the bastards flew through the sky, dodging my shot in midair, and came down on all three of us, pinning us to the ground, holding my face up to watch as the other arm was ripped from the old woman's torso.
Are you learning, Cyclops? This is what awaits you and those you care about.
The old woman was dead now, her severed head in the hands of the leader, and they all laughed as her blood ran into the gutter. The one on top of us felt like he was made out of sacks of bricks. He held me by the hair, cackling like the rest of the hyenas, forcing me to stare at her lifeless, disassembled body. Just like Daifu had been disassembled. Who were they? And why were they doing this? You sons of bitches! You're gonna pay for any... It was about that time that he drove my face into the pavement. And for a little while, everything went black.
The ghoulish gendarme looks to be in quite a mess. See how he makes his way out next time.
Crime may like to hide in the shadows, but it can never really hide from the Eye.
The Eye in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown is brought to you by Bean Dip Productions and the Neighborhood Studio. The Eye is recorded at the Neighborhood Studio in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a rocket.